let's see what we've got here from Bleacher Report. A three-team trade idea to help the Los Angeles Lakers move D'Angelo Russell. Well, let's start this off. I don't know what D'Angelo Russell's contract situation is the LA Lakers. Let's get this week. That came courtesy of the LA Lakers, who've reportedly been shopping D'Lo around since he opted into the final year of his contract. Okay, so he's got 1 year left. Okay, so I get trying to trade him then. That makes sense. The thing is, he's a good on the ball playmaker, and there aren't many playmakers that can play. There aren't many point guards that can play with LeBron James. And D'Lo, regular season D'Lo is not a problem. It's just in the playoff. Well, it says it here. The 28-year-old playmaker's defense has become a real problem for LA in each of the last two postseasons. Yeah, when it gets cracking in the postseason, when you've got players playing at their absolute most, guys are putting in 110%. You need someone that can lock in on defense, and D'Lo's not really that guy. But on the ball, he's always been good. For me, he's always been a good option for the Lakers to look to. In terms of 3-point shooting, LeBron's a good 3-point shooter, but nothing special. Anthony Davis can't shoot the three at all. His 3-point shooting is at a similar clip to Julius Randle, to give you an idea. Not a great 3-point shooter at all. And then you've got Reeves, who can sometimes knock it down. I don't know what his numbers were like in the postseason this past season. But then after that, you got D'Lo. D'Lo's the best 3-point shooter we've probably got. The best out-and-out 3-point shooter we've got is probably D'Lo. Now that I'm thinking off the top of my head. So, I'm not super happy that they're trying to get rid of him. But, okay, let's look at this trade idea. So, the Lakers received Jeremy Grant and Cole Anthony. Okay. And the Lakers give up D'Lo, Gabe Vincent, Vanderbilt, Jalen Hood-Schifino, a top 3 protected 2029 first round pick, and a 2030 second round pick. Okay, so the Blazers get Vincent, Vanderbilt, Jet Howard, and some picks. They lose Jeremy Grant. Magic receive D'Lo, Hood-Schifino. It's very interesting because adding in a guy like Vanderbilt's a player that I quite like at the Lakers, so I wouldn't really want to give him up. The rest of them I'm fine with, in terms of D'Lo, Gabe Vincent, and Hood-Schifino. I'm fine with giving those guys up because Hood-Schifino's nothing special for me. And then, yeah, Hood-Schifino's nothing special. Vanderbilt I like. Gabe Vincent, nothing. Is basically like our 13th or 14th man at this point, I think. A player who done well for the Heat, but the Heat knew how to use him. He was using a very specific role at the Heat where he was just, get him on the court and he can shoot some threes. That doesn't make you a great player. That means you can shoot threes. And Miami Heat are great at getting these role players and having NBA GMs, NBA fan bases thinking they're better than they are. No, they just fit a system that they are meant to fit. So Gabe Vincent wasn't brought in to be a hound on defense, wasn't brought in to be a ball handler, a playmaker. Or no, he was. They thought he could do all that, but he couldn't. And he didn't really show he could do that in the Miami Heat, but Miami Heat have that Heat culture where we can hide your weaknesses. We can hide your weaknesses and make you look good, and then we know your limitations because we know you. So if you ask for something crazy, we're not going to give it to you. But another team who doesn't know you will give you that. And that's what the Lakers did. Not that we even gave him that big of a contract, but we probably shouldn't have even signed him in the first place. But he was available. So let's see. But D'Lo would end up going to the Magic in this trade. I'm not sure. Look, I guess a player like D'Lo, you're never going to not want, in my opinion. Like I said, he's a player who's point guard, he can dribble, he'll bring the ball up the court, offensively is pretty good, but ultimately you need to know what you're getting with him. You're getting a player on the ball, offensively is going to be pretty good for you as far as point guards go. He's going to be able to shoot threes, play make. He's going to be able to do what you need defensively from a point guard in the 2024 NBA. You know, come the postseason, when guys start to lock in on offense and go crazy at him, when you got guys that be doing their crazy handle moves, their crazy bag in the playoffs, you know D'Lo can't really defend that. So you're going to sign him knowing this. So when you're in this situation, you have no excuse, in my opinion. In my opinion, you have no excuse to be like, when you're in this situation, don't be like, oh, we love D'Lo, but he can't defend. You know that. Going in, it's kind of been established. We know D'Lo's defensively not great, so what do? You build the squad. You balance the squad. You have guys that equally are great defensively, but don't need the ball in their hand. And the Magic kind of do have a squad like that. Love to see D'Lo play with Paolo Banchero. I think they could do some really interesting pick and roll action there. And it also means, similar to the Lakers, D'Angelo doesn't have to have the ball in his hand all the time. Because he's not an elite point guard where he's going to be super ball dominant and super efficient with it. He's a good point guard, but he's not super elite. He's not the top echelon of point guards like a Damian Lillard or a Steph Curry, where they can basically on the ball do it all. You know, D'Lo's very good, but he's still got those limitations. Have the ball in Paolo Banchero's hands at times. He can do it. He can rock out, again, another big physical presence for D'Lo to play with, like LeBron. You can do some interesting plays with that. I don't mind the Orlando Magic as a potential trade destination for D'Angelo Russell. I'm not a big fan of how we get there, because, you know, give up more picks, which Lakers don't need to do, and giving up Vanderbilt, who I think is a good player. But Jeremy Grant, good option, good four-man. But I think Lakers really need a centre, because if you want to play AD at the 4, you play AD at the 4, you need a 5. But if you can convince AD to play the 5, then you've got a good four-man in Jeremy Grant. But I think that's going to be it from me, guys.